Hi, welcome to the Sports Show. I'm Colton Warren.
And I'm Aaron Peterson. Today on the Sports Show, we've got you covered from SUU sports to the NFL playoffs. SUU basketball is still feeling the growing pains of playing in the Big Sky Conference, but is showing improvement each game and getting recognition for it. Jaden Cohey was recently named the 4th best Canadian-born player in the mid-majors, and Dre Marin is showing signs of a bright future. Last Saturday, the team hosted Eastern Washington, looking to pick up momentum going into the second half of the season. The T-Birds built an early 6-5 lead thanks to a lay-in by Jamal Ates. A bit later, Brandon Better hit his first of 4 3-pointers to make the score 9-5 SUU. Then Christian Musoku increased the lead to 11-5, 14 minutes before the half. Later in the first half, Eastern hit consecutive shots to bring the score to 20-10 SUU. With 8:05 left in the first, Betters and 1 3-pointer made the score 24-14 SUU. With 6:53 remaining before halftime, Sir Washington cut the SUU lead to 24-20. Jaden Cohey stretched the lead to 7 for the T-Birds with under 2 minutes left before the break. Jacob Calloway followed to put the T-Birds up by 8. SUU led 35-30 at the half. The Eagles began the second half with a run, a couple threes. Sir Washington's Trey put the Eagles up 39-36 for their first lead since 18:05 in the first. The T-Birds strike back through James McGee evened the score, and Dre Marin followed a few minutes later to pull within 4. The game would go into overtime, and James McGee hit a 3 to give SUU the overtime victory.
Before the men hit the road this week, our reporter and athletic department intern, Colton Gordon, caught up with the team's newest addition, Dwayne Morgan. See how Colton fared against the UNLV transfer on the latest episode of D1 versus D None.
Dwayne Morgan here from Baltimore, Maryland. Grad transfer from UNLV, 215 small forward.
And I'm Colton. I'm an intern.
Hey, that's funny right here. Jump shot.
I don't play a point guard because I know they're good.
Hey, that's the intimidation. Hey! Oh!
Kareem. Do not.
Hey! I thought you might have blocked it though. I thought she was going to get it. I'm telling you what, I'm going to shoot the ball without dribbling it.
Okay.
All right, but I'm going to let you know. Oh!
Fall down, make it look good.
Oh!
And one!
I can't give you that. I'm going to shoot it again.
Okay.
All right, so you play the hands. I'm going to let you get right, all right? All right. You trying to steal it? Come on, dog. Yeah. Hey! Are you okay, bro?
Yeah. How do you think I did right now, though?
On a one-on-one?
Yeah.
You did good. You did good.
Man, I lost 7-0, got slammed on twice.
Bro, you did good. That's like me coming into interning and be like, how did I do on my first day and not knowing exactly nothing what I'm doing. You did good, I'm trying to tell you.
I appreciate that, bro. This is Dwayne. I'm Colton. Thanks for watching D1 versus D9.
Colton, I'm Dwayne, and he's winning first team internship and what was it? Internship MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Coming up on the Sports Show, the Utah Jazz may have a superstar, and BYU football released their 2018 schedule. Don't go anywhere.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek. Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
The Utah Jazz are once again in the middle of a tough decision due to their record. In the 8 months since reaching the Western Conference semifinals, the team lost a star player, Gordon Hayward. Trade rumors have surfaced for Derek Favors and Rodney Hood, and the team is once again dealing with injuries, unfortunately. Star center Rudy Gobert has missed more than half the season so far with knee issues, while backup forward Tabo Safalasha was ruled out for the season after electing to have knee surgery. Aaron, truly, what is really going on with the Jazz this year? I mean, you have any input on that?
Well, I think it's been a disappointing season, to say the least. I understand it's really hard to bounce back after losing Gordon Hayward, which was the anchor of the squad last year, but they still return. They still have Rodney Hood and Joe Johnson and Derek Favors, who were all key contributors in their playoff series win over the Clippers last year. And then in the offseason, you add that into, they went out and got Ricky Rubio, and he's a good team player. Yeah. And I think talent-wise, I think they have a playoff roster, but they are not playing up to that potential.
And showing it so far.
Which is why they're last in the Northwest Division. But there's plenty of time left in the season to, they're only 4.5 games back, so they can come back and get into the playoff picture.
Yeah.
One bright spot for the team is the play of rookie sensation Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell is averaging over 19 points per game and is a lock to participate in the NBA's Rising Stars Challenge over the All-Star break next month. Many star players such as LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George have shared advice to Mitchell after games. Colton, is Donovan Mitchell a future star?
I truly think so. Right now, he's actually being looked for the Rookie of the Year, which is a huge thing, especially for a sophomore out of Louisville. This Donovan Mitchell is truly spectacular from what I can see from his highlights. I mean, dang, he can dunk and he can shoot and he can do whatever he wants to do. And getting advice from like one of the top 2 players of the league, as you said, LeBron James is one of them. I mean, that is just spectacular to get the insight and news and how to be able to become a better player, rather than just staying the rookie. So.
Well, he's one of the more exciting players I've ever seen play. He's very electrifying.
He is, definitely. The BYU football team has announced its final schedule for the season. Highlights of the schedule include 5 games against Power 5 opponents, 4 of which are in the Pac-12 Conference. The Cougars will play 3 teams ranked in the preseason top 25, including September visits to national powerhouse schools Wisconsin and Washington, and a November visit to Boise State. The team will also travel to Salt Lake City to take on the Utah Utes on Thanksgiving weekend, returning the Holy War to the end of the season for the first time since 2010. Aaron, what can we truly expect to see from BYU this upcoming year?
Well, as you know, it was a rough season last year. It was the first time they missed a bowl game since 2004. They had several injuries, some offensive coordinating issues. The team just wasn't on the same page, and they lost to a lot of embarrassing opponents.
Yeah.
I think next year will be a little bit better. I think they'll make a bowl game. They do have a lot of tough games, but they also have a lot of easy, not necessarily easy, but winnable games against McNeese State, Utah State, Hawaii, Northern Illinois, UMass, and New Mexico State. Now, I know they lost to some really bad teams last year, but that's uncharacteristic, and so I expect them to go 6-6 and return to a bowl game, but not finish any better than that.
Yeah, so after 13 years, we hope to see them back in the bowl after skipping it for 1 year. Hopefully they see what's going on and they need to change what they need to fix. Coming up on the sports show, we'll talk about the Vegas Golden Knights, the NBA All-Stars teams, and which NFL rookie will make the biggest impact. Don't go anywhere.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Travel is part of the American way of life.
When we're on vacation, we keep an eye out for anything that looks out of place.
Miss your bag.
When we travel from city to city, we pay attention to our surroundings.
Everyone plays a role in keeping our community safe.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
For 3 months, I was being treated for high blood pressure and migraines, which were actually the symptoms. The cause was kidney disease. If you were a member of one of those high-risk groups, I would have your kidney function checked. Early detection can prevent further kidney damage. It was amazing even to my doctor how much diet impacted my personal disease. The power to reduce risk for kidney disease is in your hands. I just feel that my whole life has come back to me.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
The Vegas Golden Knights continue to surprise sports fans across America. The Golden Knights are atop the Western Conference with 68 points and are second overall in the NHL, 1 point behind Tampa Bay. Key players include Stanley Cup champion goalie Marc-Andre Fleury, leading goal scorer William Karlsson, and leading assist man Jonathan Marchessault. The Golden Knights became especially relevant after the Las Vegas shooting last October. The team displayed the Vegas Strong movement during the inaugural home game. The team is only 2 wins and 16 points away from having the best inaugural season by an expansion team in NHL history. The team is currently 32-11-4. Colton, are the Golden Knights a contender or a pretender?
To be honest, in my opinion, the numbers do not lie. The facts are definitely real. From what I can see here is the Golden Knights overall have 32 wins, and their toughest opponent in the Atlantic Division, which is the Eastern Conference, they have 33 wins, which is, one less win, and they are pretty much second overall in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, which is really surprising for me because, the Golden Knights being a brand new team, in Las Vegas, as you said, they do have some very key players, which I'm definitely in key and watching, their performance, which their performance is definitely showing off, in the numbers here. 32 wins, 11 losses overall, which I think is fantastic. They're on a 2-game winning streak right now, and I really don't think they're going to be able to stop. So.
Yeah, they're really exciting to watch, and what they're doing is just unheard of. Usually an expansion franchise takes a long time to get going, and they have 1, 2, sometimes even 3 miserable seasons before they get their act together.
Okay, yeah, definitely agree. Participants for the next month's NBA All-Star Game in Los Angeles were leaked just last night. Kyrie Irving, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, who will join LeBron James for the Eastern Conference, while Steph Curry is joined by Kevin Durant, James Harden, Anthony Davis, and DeMarcus Cousins on the West. Other players include Karl Anthony Towns, Victor Oladipo, Damian Lillard, and Kristaps Porzingis. But with every All-Star game comes several players who were deserving but was left off because of fan, player, or media votes, unfortunately. Those who were not selected to this year's All-Star Game include Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, Andre Drummond, Lou Williams, and Blake Griffin. Aaron, who do you think should have made the All-Stars list but actually didn't this year, unfortunately?
Well, I got to tell you, it's pretty obvious to me that it's Andre Drummond.
Yeah?
I mean, what he's doing with the Pistons is just amazing. He's averaging 14 points and 15 rebounds a game. And if you look at some of these players that are actually on the roster for the All-Star Game, he kind of just blows them away. I mean, Draymond Green is only averaging 11 points and 7 rebounds, so he's more than double his rebounds. Then Al Horford is averaging 13 and 7, which isn't anywhere near Andre Drummond. And then even Kevin Love, even though he's scoring more, he's only getting 9 rebounds. So I think that's the obvious choice.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. released his 2018 NFL mock draft, and it has several surprises. The Browns, who own the 1st and 4th picks, are predicted to pick Wyoming quarterback Josh Allen and Penn State tailback Saquon Barkley. The Giants are predicted to get UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen, while Florida State safety Derwin James falls to number 18 to the Seahawks. Aaron, which first-round pick do you think, within these will be will have the largest impact in the rookies for this year?
I think it's got to be Saquon Barkley. In his 3 years at Penn State, Barkley ran for over 3,800 yards and 43 touchdowns. He also had almost 1,200 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. The guy has breakaway speed, avoids defenders with ease, and can break a tackle if he has to because he is 223 pounds of pure muscle.
I mean, he just looks like a solid beast, to be honest.
Yeah, look
like,
at him
from
go.
what I'm seeing from these highlight
plays. They can't catch him.
Especially, I mean, we're talking about this actually in my football class right now, but like how you can just leap over a player that, and these players, aren't small, probably like 6'2", 6'3". I mean, it's just insane.
Coming up next on the Sports Show, we'll bring you up to date on the NFL playoffs and how baseball has 2 super teams. Stay tuned.
Listen up. Each year, hundreds of promising research studies go unfunded for breast cancer, for lung cancer, every cancer. The American Cancer Society has been behind nearly every breakthrough in recent history. But there's still more work to do. So let's make sure that no research is silenced. Let's make noise. Let's make noise. Yeah. And let's finish the fight.
Toxic chemicals and carcinogens are leaching into the environment. It's happening right where we live, work, and play. Everywhere. Cigarette butts are toxic waste. Let's stop the toxic litter. Learn more at rethinkbutts.org.
I'm hungry. I can't see the board.
Good morning, class. Everyone ready to learn today?
Of course they aren't ready. Across America, health barriers keep millions of disadvantaged school children from learning. Children's Health Fund is working to remove those barriers. But to really change the odds for these kids, we need your help. To find out how you can give every child a chance to be healthy and ready to learn, visit childrenshealthfund.org today.
The matchup for Super Bowl 52 is set. The AFC and NFC had champions crowned last Sunday as the Jacksonville Jaguars visited the New England Patriots while the Minnesota Vikings faced the Philadelphia Eagles. Here in the first quarter of the Vikings-Eagles game, the Vikings strike first on a touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph. They orchestrated a celebration, but that was pretty much all they could enjoy the entire day. They're loving that.
Yeah.
And 7-0 Eagles before the pick six by Robinson. That's Patrick Robinson, who picks off the pass that was his, Case Keenum's arm was hit while delivering that pass, and they take it all the way to the house. Eagles tie it up at 7. We look here again, shows what caused the bad throw, and Philly's loving it. Then the touchdown rush up the middle that puts the Eagles on top 14-7. Then the Vikings driving and looking to tie it before the fumble is stripped and recovered by the Eagles, and that destroyed any momentum that the Vikings may have been building. And we look at that nice play by the defensive tackle as he knocks the ball out from behind. Eagles, 1 minute left before half, and Foles buys time, steps up in the pocket, and delivers a strike across the field to Alshon Jeffrey for the touchdown, 21-7 Eagles. Nick Foles again finds Zach Ertz to set up a field goal before the half, 24-7 Eagles. Then they try the flea flicker, and Foles steps up and bombs it down the field, and that's a touchdown for Torrey Smith. And look at him blow past the cornerback with the stutter step, and then the safety, Harrison Smith, can't catch up to him, and he dives into the pylon for the touchdown.
That was beautiful, to be honest, right there.
I mean, that's football at its finest right there.
No kidding. Holy cow.
Meanwhile, Vikings driving, third quarter. Touchdown, right? Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to have to take another look. And as you can see, the ball clearly hits the ground, and
just barely.
Vikings have another thing to be sad about. Alshon Jeffrey finds another touchdown. That was his second. He had 85 receiving yards in that game, and Philly's going wild. Look at them dance. I want to dance now. Look at that.
Yeah, holy
wow.
cow.
That's some crazy stuff right there. I think that would look good on you, Colton.
I'm not going to try it. Next up, Jaguars and New England Patriots. Mercedes throws a perfect pass, or Bortles throws a perfect pass to Mercedes Lewis. Jags get the first lead, 7-3. Leonard Fournette plows through the defense on this next play, gets into the end zone, makes it a 14-3 lead. You think the Jacksonville Jaguars are feeling pretty good on top of their bubble now, but the Patriots. So right here, this play, Gronkowski is actually down, a late flag there, but he is out for the rest of the game. Patriots rush for a TD, and it's 14-10 at this moment right here. Skipping to the fourth quarter, the Pats go to trick play to Amendola. and then to Dion Lewis. He tries to run it downfield, but then Miles Jack tackles and strips the ball out from his hand. Unfortunately, the refs think that he was down at that moment, but unfortunately he wasn't. And at the end of this game, you'll see the score was very, very close. And if the refs did not call that, Jaguars might have come back and win. Yeah, no kidding. So the Pats right now throws to Amendola or Danny Playoff for a touchdown pass, 2017, with less than 9 minutes remaining. Patriots again has the ball. Holy cow, that pass. Oh my goodness, that pass. Back end zone to Amendola, toe taps, literally right there, as you can see, both toes. And then the Pats are up 24-20 within the last 1 minute and 50 seconds. Jags try to come back with a pass, unfortunately broken up by Stephen Gilmore, and the Pats win. The very last score is 24-20. So we see the Pats and the Eagles in the finals. That means the matchup for the Super Bowl 52 will be the Pats and the Eagles. Aaron, who do you think is truly going to win that matchup? Two very hard-hitting teams, very great teams. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I would like the Eagles to win, but I think the Tom Brady and the Patriots is just too good.
It's very unfortunate. I know. The MLB announced their 2018 Hall of Fame inductees yesterday. Chipper Jones and Jim Throne made it. Tomei made it as a first ballot selections, followed by Vladimir Guerrero in his second year and Trevor Hoffman in his third year. Jones played 19 seasons for the Atlanta Braves through 1993 through 2012. Jones won the 1998 MVP award and was an 8-time All-Star. He batted .303 with 468 home runs and 1,623 runs batted for his career. Tomei played for 6 different teams in 22 seasons from 1991 to 2012. Tomei was a 4-time All-Star. He batted .276 with 612 home runs and 1,690 RBIs for his career. He sits at 8 all-time in total home runs. Guerrero played 16 seasons from 1996 to 2011, primarily with the Montreal Expos and Anaheim Angels. He was a 9-time All-Star with a career .318 average and 449 home runs. He also collected 1,496 RBIs for his career. Hoffman played 18 seasons from 1993 to 2010. 16 of his seasons came as a member of the San Diego Padres. Hoffman was a 7-time All-Star in his career, pitching 1,089 innings with a 2.87 earned run average. He was the first pitcher to ever reach 600 saves and finish with 601, ranking him second all-time behind Mariano Rivera. Aaron, what do you think is your opinion on this year's inductees? Just give me a quick.
I think they're good selections.
Yeah.
That's all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us today on The Sports Show. Be sure to tune in Tuesday at 4 for SUTV News.